Welcome to Senpai, your new home for immersive manga, manhwa, anime-inspired novels, and fantasy audiobook stories. Here, every episode brings you into a world of overpowered heroes, revenge arcs, cultivation journeys, virtual reality games, monsters, magic, and emotional character moments. Whether you enjoy dark fantasy, action, reincarnation, system stories, or epic adventure novels, Senpai is here to turn every chapter into a cinematic listening experience. So relax, put on your headphones, and let the story begin. Subscribe to Senpai and join the journey.
Latest news. After a decade of development, the epic-making virtual reality game, Dark Land, has officially launched, now available for purchase on major gaming platforms and the official website, with a retail price of $128,888. Liver Emperor Group Chat, Online, 10 members. Poor as Dirt, Admin Brothers, Dark Land. Sold 1 million copies in just 10 minutes. What do you guys think? Gaming and still paying money? What else can I say? Obviously I'll watch on the news. I did want to buy it and try it out, but my wallet says no. Zero charge. I've been waiting for this game for 8 years, and when I saw the price, my heart finally gave out. They clearly didn't intend to leave any room for ordinary players. I've heard they've even implemented various new anti-cracking technologies. Us common folks might never get the chance to play it in this lifetime, unless my sugar mama plan makes some progress. Family shared Godfather. What's even more tragic is that this game blocks all external live streaming and recording features. We can't even enjoy game videos with our meals, effectively cutting off any chance for us common folk to peek at the rich players' gaming. Poor as Dirt, Admin. I really want to play it so bad. I was already full of anticipation from the early game CG videos. But then they hit us with this $128,888 price tag. I would have gritted my teeth and bought it even if it were $28,888. Worst case, I'd just eat dirt for a few months. As the group chat members continued to lament the pricing of Dark Land, a sudden message caught their attention. Benefit Officer, if you guys really want to play, I actually have a cracked version of Dark Land that can connect online normally. Poor as Dirt replied to Benefit Officer, "Don't joke, man. Cracked version? Right now, even purchasing the official version requires queuing and competing for scarce copies allotted by the Moon Eclipse clan to our Human Clan Federation. It's impossible to have a cracked version out on the same day." Zero Charge replied to Benefit Officer, "Are you trying to scam us into downloading SpongeBob and Teletubbies? By the way, who the heck are you? I'd never seen you in this group before." Benefit Officer, I posted the cracked version link in the group. If you want to play, just download and log in directly using this link. After seeing that Benefit Officer actually sent a download link in the group, none of the members clicked to download. Instinctively suspecting that it might be a phishing link, clicking on it could lead to disastrous losses. Just as the members were about to spew abuse at Benefit Officer and prepare to kick him out of the group, one member stepped forward. "Game Working Party. Guys, don't panic. Let me download and test it first. There's only 20 left in my bank account, so there's not much to lose if it's a scam. As the saying goes, the poorer you are, the less you can be hurt. The damage from fraud is proportional to personal wealth. Being as broke as I am, the damage would be minimal. Wait for my reply." Family shared Godfather replied to Game Working Party, "Godfather, make a quick trip and return swiftly. Your children await your good news here. Human Clan Federation, Skywind City. South District, the slums. Narrow alleyways were overgrown with moss and vines, the air filled with an indescribable stench, a mix of kitchen fumes, dampness, and unidentified garbage smells. The housing here was mostly low and dilapidated, constructed of wood and tin sheets. When it rained, they would pitter-patter noisily, as if protesting the deplorable living conditions. As night fell, a dim light shone from an old wooden house in the corner. Through the gaps of the wooden house, a room under 30 square meters was revealed. Slurp. He sucked the remaining instant noodles into his mouth in one breath, chewed and swallowed, and Li Zheng took a deep breath, tossing the noodle cup into the trash bin beside the seat. He pulled out a paper towel from the carton and wiped the grease from his lips. Glancing at the time in the bottom right corner of his computer screen, there was still 1 hour until the scheduled start of his live stream. Li Zheng got up and headed to the bathroom to tidy up his outfit. In the mirror, he stood 1.82 meters tall, with fair skin, wearing a black short-sleeved shirt, his hair neatly cropped short, indeed quite handsome. Looking at himself in the mirror, Li Zheng couldn't help but let out a jaded sigh. His current job was a game worker, grinding out hot games to provide resources for pay-to-play players in exchange for money, and occasionally live streaming for some extra income. The Dark Land has recently become hugely popular, attracting hordes of pay-to-play gamers, and causing the revenue from my regular game grind to drop visibly fast. The saddest thing in life is to be alive when your money isn't. Pulling out my phone from my pocket, the latest payment reminder is displayed. Your savings card ending in 3584 has been charged $329 for a Class D nutrition fluid, balance, 21. Would you like to enable account protection feature, which secures the funds in your account? Using a 6-digit bank PIN to protect a double-digit balance, Li Zheng thinks it's totally unnecessary. Heading to his computer, the game download progress bar is at 95%, just 3 more minutes to go before he can dive into the game. Glancing at the chat group still vigorously discussing the Dark Land, Li Zheng feels 99.99% certain he's been duped. The Dark Land, produced by the Moon Eclipsing using the most advanced virtual reality tech and equipped with numerous anti-crack core technologies, was almost zero chance of being cracked on its first day of release. Even the virtual reality game Land of Sin that Moon Eclipsing launched 5 years ago hasn't got a cracked version to this day. But he decides to give it a download anyway, despite knowing the likely outcome might just be Calabash Brothers saving Grandpa. Watching one episode shouldn't be too harmful. 5 minutes later, the game is fully downloaded. Li Zheng unzips the file and transfers it to the gaming capsule connected to his computer, then presses Game Adaptation. Before starting the game, he decides to ask for a leave from his live stream viewers. He had already agreed to stream at 8 tonight with his fans, but now he's about to test this bogus game, and will unavoidably miss the time. With a bit of guilt, he takes out his phone, opens the fan group, composes a message and sends it. Sorry, something urgent came up. Tonight's 8 p.m. live stream is cancelled. Before he could even put his phone down, a group member replies. Nobody watches anyway. A day is not enough. I suggest taking a few more days off, or even a year's leave. Followed by a series of echo chamber responses. Li Zheng. His fans' replies are a real blow to his spirits. At this moment, the green light indicating the gaming capsule has completed adaptation lights up beside his computer desk. Forget it. Time to squash my anxiety with an episode of Calabash Brothers saving Grandpa. After changing into his gaming suit, he approaches the gaming capsule and presses the open button. The semi-transparent lid slowly lifts. He slides into the capsule sideways, the lid closes, and the nutrition fluid oozes from holes around him, engulfing his body as the neural connection hoses automatically attach to various parts of his body. After a dizzying whirl, the virtual interface appears in front of his eyes. There are 12 games listed, with the Dark Land that was just downloaded at the very bottom, its game icon depicting a monster engulfed in scarlet flames. Something's definitely off. He's seen the login icon for the Dark Land in the news. It's a pitch-black sword, totally different from the current monster icon. Damn con artists! Cursing in his mind, Li Zheng still goes ahead and presses the game icon, launching the game. Calabash Brothers, power up! The sky roared with hurricanes, stirring the red clouds into a tumult. After a clap of thunder, black lightning spread across the sky like a spider web, disappearing into invisibility after a few seconds. The earth, a chain of volcanoes erupting fiercely, red fire serpents snaking down, devouring all life in their path, the air saturated with the smell of sulfur and scorched earth. Atop the highest peak, under the light of the dark red waning moon, it gleamed with a blood-red light like a flaming serrated sword aiming to pierce the heavy curtain of sky. Countless terrifying monsters roamed between heaven and earth. Evil Chi with its 18 heads, towering like mountains, the frost giant beast whose breath could freeze thousands of miles, the crimson wing haven capable of leaping tens of thousands of miles in a single bound. In addition to these apex predators, there were numerous other fearsome beasts capable of swallowing mountains and rivers and altering the landscape with a stomp of their feet. This was an ecosystem composed of countless terrifying creatures. The view shifted towards the earth, rapidly descending and finally zooming in on a dilapidated village, only for the scene to be shrouded in the darkness encroaching from all sides. As the darkness dissipated, Li Zheng found himself floating in front of a towering blue crystal wall, as a voice echoed in his mind. Welcome, Challenger, to Monster World. Please begin creating your initial character. Monster World? Wasn't the newbie village in the Dark Land called Dark City? Without pondering too much on this question, he simply assumed that the Moon Eclipse clan had altered the game settings exposed years ago. The aerial view from before, and the character creation environment now made him realize he had indeed downloaded a cracked version of Dark Land. His excitement was indescribable. Others spent 128,888 to get their hands on the game, yet he had obtained it in just an hour's download. The benefit officer really handed out benefits. He no longer doubted the game's authenticity. Who would spend a fortune to produce a game with such high fidelity only to deceive people? If the earlier CG experience was meant to be more deceptive, then the cost of such a prank would be absurdly high. In the field for creating a name, he used the virtual keyboard to type "Game Working Party" and confirmed his entry. The huge grid-like crystal wall in front zoomed in quickly. The majority of the cells on the wall were empty. Only the number 1 to 3 cells at the bottom contained monstrous figures of grotesque and ferocious appearance. Inside cell number 1 was a humanoid stone statue with bat-like ears, squatting on a half-meter-high pedestal, finely carved with bloodshot light shining through its massive pupils and bared sharp, white teeth. The monster in cell number 2 had fiery red wings and resembled an owl, its sharp talons constantly striking against the crystal wall, emitting a shrill sound. Inside cell number 3 was a large black armored snake, coiled within the cell, flicking its forked tongue. Please select initial status. Li Zheng's gaze moved to the first monster, and detailed information appeared. Stone statue ghost. Initial level 1. Initial attributes. Physical fitness, 7, determined by a combination of body comprehensive values of strength, physical strength, durability, explosive power. Spiritual strength, 5, affects spiritual recovery, casting speed, magic strength. Element resistance, 5, affects the final assessment of elemental damage. Primordial ability, petrification active. Ability description, upon activation, enter an immobile petrified state, substantially weakening any form of attack damage, the specific effect influenced by physical fitness. His sight then moved over to the eagle-headed monster and the snake beside the stone statue ghost. Eagle-headed demon. Initial level 1. Initial attributes. Physical fitness, 3, spiritual strength, 8, element resistance, 4. Primordial ability, resentful chant, active. Ability description, enable perception view to preemptively warn of nearby danger, malice, hostility, aura, fluctuations, with duration and warning range affected by spiritual strength. Black armored snake. Initial level 1. Initial attributes. Physical fitness, 12, spiritual strength, 1, element resistance, 2. Ability, fierce poison, passive. Ability description, physical damage in any form carries a poisoning effect, causing continuous damage to the target. How should he choose? Li Zheng fell into thought. Faced with the 3 initial ability options, both the stone statue ghost and eagle-headed monster required active triggering with continuous consumption of spiritual power, whereas the black armored snake's ability could be triggered by any form of physical damage, clearly more suitable for a newcomer. With a certain idea in mind, the figures in cells 1 and 2 disappeared, and the black armored snake in cell 3 rapidly enlarged before his eyes. Thump! 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 The sound of his heart beating violently became clearer in his ears. Just then, the image of the black armored snake suddenly raised its head and lunged at him with an open mouth. Li Zheng was startled and reflexively lifted his hands to defend himself. However, the expected pain did not occur, and when he opened his eyes, he realized the scene had changed, and he was now wearing a game-provided black cloth garment. Looking around, he was in the dilapidated village that appeared in the final scene of the CG footage. The village was enveloped in thick black fog on the outside, which seemed to be blocked by some mysterious force, preventing it from penetrating into the village. However, one could clearly hear strange noises emanating from within the fog. Cries of night hawks, the crunching sounds of bones breaking, hoarse whispering voices, various eerie noises resounded through the skies above the village. Li Zheng turned his head, and was immediately startled. He found that there was a phantom of a black armored snake, over a meter long, floating behind him. When he stepped to his right, the phantom followed suit and shifted accordingly. As his gaze focused, a flood of information surged into his mind, accompanied by an internal view of his body. In that view, he could clearly see his spine had become a glowing pathway, resplendent like the Milky Way. At the top of the spine was his real-world appearance, and in the first notch below, there was a glowing black sphere embedded with the figure of a black armored snake. Challenger name: Game Working Party. Main form: Human. Body refining level: 0. Inherits life soul attribute: 0. Reminder: each level of body refining upgraded allows the perfect inheritance of all attributes of one monster form in human form. Star Vein Inlay level: 1. Number 1 embedding position: Black Armored Snake Life Soul LV1. Trait: Fierce Poison. Reminder: the Star Vein function allows free switching of monster forms. While in monster form, one gains a 100% attribute bonus. Raising the Star Vein level increases the number of monster life souls that can be embedded. Switch Star Veins. Confused, Li Sheng touched the first embedding slot of the Star Vein with his mind. Immediately, an intense tingling sensation flooded from his spine to every limb, and his body twisted and changed under the surge of this power. His line of sight rapidly descended. Looking down, he was shocked to find that he had transformed into the black armored snake that had been floating behind him. At the same time, he could clearly feel a boost in his physical fitness, and even his vision had become sharper. This game is kind of twisted, but I like it. Having switched back to human form, Li Sheng, who had grasped the basic settings of the game, looked around him with curiosity. Driven by curiosity, he began to test the realism of the game. Pinching his face, wiggling his hands, pinching his arm. The feedback was indistinguishable from reality, leaving Li Sheng utterly amazed. Then, he squatted down, picked up a piece of broken stone from the ground, and slowly ground it to powder, feeling it slide through his fingertips. Damn, this game is amazing! The simple test yielded perfect realistic feedback, without any flaws to pick out. However, Li Sheng was puzzled by the fact that there were no other players in sight. It seemed as though he was alone in the entire village. Logically speaking, Dark Land was globally released, and based on sales fervor, Newbie Village should be swarming with players. Could it be that different players are separated into different game channels? Am I at a newly opened channel? As Li Sheng pondered how to explore the game further, the space beside him twisted, and a pale blue water ball appeared. The surface of the water ball rippled, revealing a stern expression as it said in a grave tone: "Evil spirits run rampant, fear descends. The monster world under the rule of Emperor Zhao faces invasion by the horror black tide. Empowered by Emperor Zhao, you bear the duty of saving the world. Please proceed to the monster world promptly to hunt and retrieve Emperor Zhao's lost primordial power, contributing to the restoration of his true body." With that, the pale blue water ball morphed an arm reaching towards him. "I am your newbie guidance in the monster world. You may call me Guidance." Li Sheng, somewhat bewildered, reached out and shook hands with the palm created by the water ball. "We're buddies from now on. Feel free to ask me anything you don't understand." Hearing this, Li Sheng grabbed the Guidance water ball, giving it a rub and a squeeze, and exclaimed, "The feeling is great!" "Great your uncle. If you keep this up, I'll go on strike." "A newbie Guidance that can go on strike? Aren't you supposed to be an AI to be driven by players at will?" "Your whole family are driven AI. If I'm not happy, I'll strike." Realizing he had annoyed the newbie guide, and would lose an important tool during his novice period, Li Sheng immediately let go, allowing the Guidance water ball to float away, and promptly apologized. "Sorry, my mistake." "Kneel down and apologize." Staring at the cocky-faced Guidance water ball, Li Sheng had a helpless expression. "I don't understand why the Moon Eclipse clan would design such a humanized newbie Guidance." While grumbling, it dawned on him that his fellow sufferers were waiting for his feedback. He immediately looked towards the Guidance water ball and asked, "Guidance, how do I exit the game?" "It's simple. Call for the function panel in your mind. It has a teleport function that will help you return to the real world. The process will take 30 seconds, during which you cannot suffer any damage, or the teleport will be interrupted." "Got it!" Following Guidance's instructions, his view was shrouded in darkness as the teleport countdown ticked down. Overwhelmed by a strong sensation of weightlessness, Li Sheng cried out excitedly in his heart, "Brothers, we've got some real meat this time." Liver Emperor player group chat, online, 10 people. Family shared Godfather. Why hasn't Godfather returned yet? Could he be so immersed in the plot of Calabash brothers saving their grandfather that he can't pull himself away? Poor to the point of eating dirt. Administrator might be reporting to the police. trying to retrieve the massive savings of 20 yuan stolen from his bank account. The livestream fee isn't settled until the day after tomorrow. That's Brother Lee's food money for tomorrow. Funny.jpg. Fun without paying. Godfather has fallen. Next Godfather, please step up. Heart killing. Stop talking. First kick the benefit officer out, which manager added him. Send a red packet to the group brothers as an apology. Just as members were heatedly discussing the game working party, who hadn't returned, the person in question came back. Game working party. Guys, hurry and download the game. The benefit officer is truly generous. I got the cracked version of Dark Land from his link. It's awesome. The modeling is 100% lifelike. Haven't experienced the game plot yet, but the realism is definitely not exaggerated. Poor to the point of eating dirt replies to game working party. You seem to want to be another victim? Family shared Godfather replies to game working party. Brotherly, I trust you so much, yet you want to trick me into downloading the Calabash Brothers. Wipe tears.jpg. Fun without paying replies to game working party. Brotherly, you usually take such good care of us. How come you started to learn bad habits from eating dirt, tricking your adorable group members now? I won't watch this Calabash Brothers. Facing the group members' skepticism, Lee, sitting at his computer desk, furiously typed on the keyboard. Game working party. We've been playing games together for so many years. Don't you guys know what kind of person I am? I guarantee with my honor there's no scam. Hurry and download to experience the game for yourself. I'll say it again, this link really downloads the legitimate Dark Land. Poor to the point of eating dirt. Administrator, I suspect that it's not Brotherly online right now, but the benefit officer who stole the account through the link. Let me give a password. What to do if a bug appears in the game? Game working party. No bugs, only features. Poor to the point of eating dirt. Administrator identified. This really is Brotherly. Guys, I'm going in first. I accept being deceived. Heart killing. Hard to believe, but the password matches successfully. I believe this is Brotherly. Guys, I'm also diving in. Family shared Godfather. Godfather, I will continue to follow in your footsteps. Game working party. Don't rush, guys. Let's first discuss the initial career choice and put together an appropriate team to start the game. Challenger, Yi Luyun, enters the game. Creating an initial monster body consumes 1,000 sacrificial power. Remaining sacrificial power, 139278. Challenger, Wang Xian, enters the game. Creating an initial monster body consumes 1,000 sacrificial power. Remaining sacrificial power, 138,278. The notification of players entering the game continually echoes in Sheng's mind. Looking at the now silent group chat interface, Sheng clicked Exit group chat, and instantly an option prompt popped up on the screen. User, Benefit Officer, confirm to exit Liver Emperor player group chat. Sheng pressed Yes, and the group chat interface on the computer desktop disappeared. The first batch of player recruitment has been completed. To recruit this group of players, he had specifically crafted a fake link. The players think they've gotten the real Dark Land, but in fact, there is no game behind the link, but a spatial array set up to extract and transport their consciousness to Monster World, there to complete life reshaping, possessing perfectly adapted monster bodies. However, the players in the group obviously haven't realized this, thinking they downloaded a free cracked version of Dark Land. It is certain that after they experience the game content, they will be grateful to him in the group chat. They might even treat him as their new godfather. But Sheng's goal has been achieved. He can't be bothered to read the forthcoming flattery and praise. He is more concerned about the revenue created by the players. Imperial Tomb Village is still being continuously damaged by the energy of the horror Black Tide, necessitating a huge amount of sacrificial power every day to maintain the defense barriers of Imperial Tomb Village. If the players can't generate revenue, the remaining sacrificial energy will soon be depleted. Just then, a pale blue water ball abruptly appears beside him. Boss, were the recruits this time from the tribe of your former homeland? Before I crossed over to Monster World, I was once one of them, but this world has undergone some changes during the time I left, with many alien race powers emerging. Sheng nodded in response. The floating water ball beside him, called Guidance, has a very special ability. It can turn scanned things into presented data information. All the newbie guides that follow the players are its avatars. Over the hundreds of years since he crossed to Monster World, inheriting the original strength of Emperor Zhao, the Guidance that once followed Emperor Zhao also became one of his 4 servants. The Challenger system, player recruitment system, he devised, the data processing part is managed by guidance. They have entered Monster World. Do you want to go take a look? Sheng nods. A light screen emerges in front of him, showing the players who are entering the game for the first time. This game and reality, what's the difference? Even the ground's broken stones modeling is perfect. After watching Calabash Brothers for so many years, I finally downloaded the genuine game. The benefit officer in the group is going to be my new godfather. It's so realistic, truly a masterpiece of the super virtual reality game built over 10 years by the Moon Eclipse clan. A flash of white light, and 10 figures appeared in the central square of Imperial Tomb Village. Among the 10 players, 2 had visions of eagle-headed demons floating behind them, 2 had stone statue ghosts, and the remaining 6 chose the initial form of black armored snake. Brothers, let's leave Newbie Village. Let's level up quickly since it's server launch time. We'll make a fortune with this game later on. This is the game with the most pay-to-play players at this stage. We need to cherish the early development time. Sheng spoke at this moment. Brotherly, how come it's just a few of us in Newbie Village? Where are the other players? Didn't they say 1 million copies were sold in 10 minutes? The game should be overcrowded by now. The player speaking looked very young, with a name, Poor, over his head, and an eagle-headed demon vision floating behind him. Before Sheng could respond, another young man with killing intent floating over his head calmly said, Nonsense, we must have entered a separate channel. Otherwise, with millions of players flooding in at once, this Newbie Village would have exploded. That's true. Let's leave the village first. Leveling up early is the most important. Let's follow Brotherly. You're the most professional when it comes to games. Along the stone-paved road, the team of 10 crossed the energy barrier and entered the fog of darkness. Immediately, an indescribable sense of fear surged, and faintly, the sounds of bones breaking, wailing, various complex noises intertwined in their minds, even causing strong dizziness. Just as Sheng and the others were about to lose their consciousness, the darkness ahead cleared, and suddenly their vision broadened. Emperor Tomb Mountain Range. A line of golden text appeared before their eyes, and quickly faded. Before their eyes was a world of crimson. Under the vast sky a dark red crescent moon tilted toward the horizon, the clouds dyed red by the afterglow, thunder flashing inside, when they churned. On the horizon's edge, one could see a volcano still erupting flames. The air was filled with sulfur and scorched earth, and the intense heat waves rolled in from afar. The nearly apocalyptic world scene in front of them shocked everyone. So shocking, feels like the next second the erupting volcano will drown us. She too remarked at this moment. Calm down, the scene outside Newbie Village looks terrifying, but there definitely won't be any strong monsters. It allows us a process to grow and adapt. While shocked, Sheng made a self-proclaimed rational analysis. Just as his words ended, a bolt of thunder tore the sky apart, and black cracks instantly spread across the entire sky. A colossal beast with a ferocious body tore through the clouds. Its massive body covered with red scales, like burning flames, each carrying tremendous power and endless majesty. Its eyes opened, sharp like 2 rubies. A deafening roar of the beast echoed through the heavens, shaking the air itself. The edges of the monster's broad and strong wings were embedded with golden patterns, whipping up gales when flapping, blowing the trees below haphazardly, and dust flying. Even at a distance, Sheng and the others were affected, pushed backward consecutively by the gale. The flying beast's descent speed suddenly sped up, like a red lightning streaking through the sky, carrying a momentum of destroying everything as it plummeted toward an unknown target below. At this moment, time seemed to freeze. All was still, only that crimson figure the focus of heaven and earth. As its body was about to touch the ground, a tremendous wave of heat accompanied by a deafening boom swept across. Boom! The ground trembled violently. A mushroom cloud rose in the distance. After a while, everything returned to silence, and Sheng and the others were stunned in place, the shock in their hearts beyond words. After a long time, Chi Tu turned his head to look at the dazed expression on Sheng. This is the safe newbie scene you were talking about? Sheng swallowed, continuing to analyze. Is it possible that this is just the game's opening scene display, like CG effects, and won't cause any real threat to us? After all, we are newbies. There should be a progressively challenging adaptation process. Before he could finish, the roar of the beast accompanied by gales hit them, the terrifying sound waves painfully stinging their eardrums. Don't panic, It's just an intense experience at the start. It doesn't affect the lower difficulty of the newbie mode. Li Zheng wiped the blood from his nose, stubbornly analyzing. I like this guy's character, big on self-deception. Waterball, standing next to Li Zheng, gave a thumbs up at this moment. Li Zheng summoned the functional panel and opened the game map. A translucent golden scroll unfurls before the eyes, with Emperor Tomb Mountain Range printed at the center, most of the area shrouded in fog. The upper right corner shows a map exploration rate of 0.001%, with a small note below, Waning Moon Low. Guidance? Are there no missions available in the game? Close the map function. Li Zheng looks towards the floating guiding water ball beside him and asks. This game triggers missions randomly. There are no specific NPCs to accept tasks from. As challengers, your most important mission is to explore the monster world, hunt and contain primordial monsters. Each successful containment brings substantial rewards. Contain primordial monsters? What does that mean? The background of this game narrates that the supreme god of monster world, Emperor Zhao, over 10,000 years ago, in search of the unknown secrets of life, dispersed his powers across the monster world, evolving into various types of primordial monsters. Today, 10,000 years later, the monster world faces the scourge of the horror black tide, and the world is on the brink of collapse. Gifted with the power bestowed by Emperor Zhao, you need to battle the evil spirits brought by the horror black tide and simultaneously, by hunting and containing primordial monsters, gradually restore the slumbering Emperor Zhao's power until he fully awakens. Simply put, the more primordial monsters you contain, the stronger your backing Emperor Zhao becomes, providing you with more game functions. When you initially enter the game to create your character, the blue crystal wall you saw is located underground in Imperial Tomb Village. It's the primordial containment wall. Each player eliminating a primordial monster adds one more monster form option in the containment section. Listening to the explanation of guidance, Li Zheng becomes more puzzled. So, we can change our initial monster form later on, right? Guiding Water Ball nods upon hearing. Of course, you can change your initial form. Moreover, you can master various monster forms and abilities, and freely switch through the Star Vein function. Each monster form will provide you a special ability, and the corresponding form's attribute enhancement. And the body refining level allows you to inherit the attribute enhancements of the monsters even in your main form, as well as use the abilities of various monster forms. Saying this, Guidance gestures forward with a wave of their hand, and suddenly a huge screen emerges ahead. The screen shows the title, Ability Demonstration. A man with ordinary features stands in the display, with 3 monster silhouettes floating behind him. Guidance points towards the screen, and suddenly the man's attributes appear. Challenger name, Test 1. Main form, Human. Body refining level, 3, able to inherit all attribute bonuses of 3 monster forms. Star Vein inlay level, 3. Number 1 embedding position, Black Armored Snake Life Soul LV30, trait, Fierce Poison. Second inlay position, Thorny Ball Soul LV30, trait, Stabbing. Third inlay position, Sky Soul LV30, trait, Flight. Guidance points to the screen and explains. Test 1's body refining level has reached 3. Even without transforming into monster form, the persona can simultaneously inherit all attribute enhancements from 3 monster forms, and can also use the special abilities of the 3 monsters. As Guidance explains, Test 1 in the screen moves. Monsters resembling worms appear in front of the character, and after Test 1 conjures a pair of wings behind, he soars, swinging his arms forward, and instantly numerous steel spikes rain down on the worms. Above all worms hit by steel spikes, a green, poisoned, indicator appears. I get it, different monster traits can be mixed and used in the main form. Black Armored Snake Life Soul's trait makes every physical form of attack induce a poisoning effect, while Thorny Ball Soul's trait releases area effect physical damage. Combining these traits can cause area-wide poisoning effects on targets. Correct. How many monster forms can a player have at most? Li Zheng continues to inquire. No limit. Star Vein level and body refining level can be endlessly increased. In the later stages you can master hundreds of monster traits, and combine various interesting skill sets in the main form, provided you've contained enough primordial monsters and have enough monster life souls to choose for inlay. Of course, at the early stage when body refining level is 0, the main form can't inherit monster attributes, so it's recommended to switch to monster forms for combat. Hearing this, Li Zheng and others understand the message guidance wants to convey. Initial form can be modified, and each player can master various monster forms, each with a unique special ability. This is a very interesting setting. Killing Intent nods at this point in the team. So, can I interpret it this way? Containing primordial monsters is a world-level main quest shared by all players, and the player completing the containment not only enjoys substantial individual rewards, but also brings shared monster form options for all players. Correct. By the way, what does the waning moon shown in the top right corner of the map mean? The moon phases vary in different regions of the monster world, from low to high intensity ranked as waning moon, waning crescent, waxing moon, full moon, evil moon 5 levels. Lower intensity areas spawn lower level evil life, higher intensity areas spawn higher level evil life. But the strength of monsters isn't affected by moon phases, they can move freely across areas with different moon intensities. A scene during evil moon might contain low-level monsters, and a scene during waning moon might also contain high-level monsters. Guidance's detailed explanation helps Li Zheng and others initially understand the game world background. This is a crumbling world invaded by the horror Black Tide, where large numbers of evil spirits descended with the Black Tide, bringing chaos to the monster world. The primary life forms of this world are divided into 3 types. They are the primordial monsters, and evil spirits respectively. Among them, evil spirits are malicious entities that follow the Black Tide to the monster world. Their movements are influenced by changes in the moon phases, and high-level evil spirits only manifest during intense moon phases. Whereas primordial monsters are indigenous life forms of this world, they are not affected by moon phases. Among these 3 types of life forms, primordial monsters are the most significant for players. Once defeated, they can be contained within the primordial containment wall beneath Imperial Tomb Village, becoming a form all players can choose. Let's go, it's time to level up! After a preliminary understanding of the worldview, Li Zheng led his team of 9 other players toward the direction of Emperor Tomb Mountain Range. At the foot of the mountain range lay an ancient battlefield. Tattered flags, shattered armors, broken weapons, piled up into mounds on the ground. Having walked less than 100 meters, Li Zheng and his companions encountered an evil spirit. A 2-meter-tall bone soldier slowly rose from a pile of bones, its tattered armor slipping to the ground as it turned its head towards Li Zheng and his comrades, flames of ink-black color suddenly igniting within its dark skull. The overly realistic environment, coupled with the sudden appearance of the monster, scared Li Zheng and his companions. As their focus sharpened, analytical information about the bone soldier surfaced in the minds of Li Zheng and the other players. Cursed Soldier, Evil Spirit. Hunting Level 3. Target Description: a life form infected with the corrosive power of the horror Black Tide. It was a devout believer of Emperor Zhao in life, and after death, it was transformed into a cursed soldier under the influence of the Black Tide power. It stinks! Too poor to eat anything, he covered his nose with his hand, his expression filled with disgust. It's too realistic, the smell is making me dizzy. Stop complaining, let's level up through monster farming first. Li Zheng took the lead, thinking quickly, his body instantly transformed into the black armored snake form. He shot forward, opening his gigantic jaws aiming directly at the cursed soldier. Evil snake springs from cage. Seeing Li Zheng's action, a team member, Zero Charge, decisively bared his teeth and followed suit, switching monster forms, roaring. 2 snakes leave the cave. 3 snakes rise from water. 4 snakes pounce and bite. 5 snakes, never mind, roar. Players from the Liver Emperor group also switched to monster forms, shouting as they pounced on the cursed soldier, surrounding and launching a ferocious attack. After a brief bout, finding that biting could not break through the cursed soldier's defense, Li Zheng and other players decisively changed their combat strategy, attempting to defeat the cursed soldier using constriction techniques. Big snake entanglement. 2 snakes follow. 3 snakes also follow. This tactic proved effective. 6 black armored snakes simultaneously coiled around the cursed soldier, their bodies tightening until the sounds of shattering bones resounded continuously, and with a thundering crash, it fell to the ground. The other 4 players weren't idle either. 2 players, who chose the stone statue ghost form, used their claws to tug on the cursed soldier's lower limbs from 2 directions, limiting its ability to rise, while 2 players, who chose the eagle-headed demon form, hammered their sharp beaks fiercely into the ink-black flames in the cursed soldier's skull. In a moment, the cursed soldier was viciously disassembled by the players, turning into a pile of bones. At that moment, a black mist emerged from the deceased cursed soldier's skull, flying toward one of the players in the team and seeping into their body upon contact. Immediately, a message popped up in the team channel. Challenger tips, player. Family shared Godfather. Kills an evil spirit. Cursed soldier, earns life evolution points plus 30, sacrificial power reward, 5. Amidst the astonished expressions of Li Sheng and others, Family shared Godfather's body visibly swelled in size, with a fleeting level +1 prompt appearing above his head. Ah, I think I leveled up. It seems only killing gives rewards, can't share. Seeing his brothers grinding their teeth, the expression of Family shared Godfather was a bit awkward. You thief, stealing my growth fortune, take a bite from me. You've truly disappointed your father, watch my family law serve you. Although you didn't do it on purpose, hogging benefits is wrong, we agreed to grow stronger together, yet you betrayed us by advancing to level 2 early. Without pecking you once, I can't quench the anger in my heart, die for me. Faced with brothers closing in with unfriendly expressions, Family shared Godfather promptly admitted defeat, but what came was his brother's relentless punches. Big snake entanglement. 2 snakes follow. 3 snakes follow. After a 1-hour game experience, Li Sheng and others have become proficient at coordinating in combat. Continuously killing cursed soldiers on the ancient battlefield, they have all leveled up to level 2. The 6 players, who chose the black armored snake form, have grown from their initial 1 meter to about 1 meter 3. The 2 players who chose the eagle-headed demon form now have more vivid feathers, and also increased size. The biggest change was in the stone statue ghost form. Aside from increase in size, there was an additional layer of flowing black crystal on their skin. Delving deeper into the experience, the realism of the game amazed them. Especially the attribute enhancement after leveling up, they could clearly feel their own strength, speed, and other attributes being enhanced, and it wasn't just an adjustment of game data. This made leveling up very interesting, and made them look forward to further increases in strength after continuing to level up. But there were also vexing issues in the game. The game was too realistic. The smell dissipating from the rotting cursed soldiers was unbearable for them. Besides that, the game surprisingly didn't have a pain blocking feature enabled. Inevitable bumps and scrapes in combat made them curse the Moon Eclipse clan for being overly perverse by not setting a pain adjustment function, essentially torturing players. Actually, there's a pain adjustment function in the system settings of the function panel, but just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Why didn't you say so earlier? You guys didn't ask, did you? After calling up the function panel, they found the pain adjustment function in the system settings. To their surprise, the pain could only be reduced to a minimum of 10%. But it was still better than 100% pain feedback. After adjusting the pain, Li Sheng and others' combat abilities skyrocketed. After dismembering another cursed soldier, feeling exhausted, Li Sheng and others were ready to rest for a while. But then, they heard Chi 2 and the team issue a sharp warning. Chi 2, why the howl? Do you really think you are an eagle? Energy fluctuations are approaching from the 3 o'clock direction. Everyone lifted their heads at Chi 2's indicated direction, and saw a huge skeleton, 3 meters tall, approaching them. Different from other cursed soldiers, this skeleton warrior's body was adorned with blazing dark flames, its black body appearing particularly eerie and terrifying under the cover of the dark fiery blaze. Focusing their gaze, the information of the burning bone soldier surfaced in their minds. Bone Fire, First Generation Origin. Hunting Level 9. Guidance Analysis. A special monster that controls the primordial power, possesses the ability to manipulate death intense flame. Note: killing a primordial monster automatically completes containment. Huge reward shared among all participants in the killing. Boss appeared. Seeing that Bone Fire was a primordial monster, Li Sheng and the others were extremely excited. Usually in other games, encountering a boss means significant profits, especially for the game working party Li Sheng. The earnings from a rare boss were enough to sustain him for many days. With a bit of luck, striking a high-grade item could mean a jackpot. Usually in other games, fighting for a boss is fiercely competitive. Faced with an opportunity delivered straight to them, they didn't want to miss out. Kill! The 10-member team decisively charged at the Bone Fire as it rose to its feet. Big snake entanglement. 2 snakes follow. 3 snakes follow. Before even getting close to the Bone Fire, Li Zheng and the others started shouting out their self-created ultimate skills. To put it in Qi Tu's words, regardless of success or failure in battle, one must always display their fighting spirit. However, this attack wasn't as smooth as before. In the hollow eye sockets of the bone fire, dark flames ignited. With a raise of its hand, clusters of dark fire separated from its body and flew towards Li Zheng and the others. Li Zheng, Heart Killing, and Zero Charge, who were at the forefront, were immediately hit by fireballs, their bodies bursting into fierce flames. The burning pain was unbearable, causing them to twist and roll on the ground, but the flames showed no sign of extinguishing. The other 7 members stepped over their burning bodies and continued to charge at the bone fire. The moment they made contact with the bone fire, their bodies too were ignited by the flames, but they still bore the pain and continued biting and pecking, creating cracks in the bone fire's bones. It wasn't long before all 10 turned into ashes amidst the roaring flames. As the scream dimmed, a prompt echoed in their minds. Challenger tips. Character deceased, 10 sacrificial power deducted. If sacrificial power is insufficient, it will be negative, and you cannot purchase any items in the game store. Character enters 1 hour of cooldown. The screen returned to the virtual interface, and Li Zheng and the others immediately clicked on the icon again, only to see another prompt. Character blood and flesh reshaping in progress. Cooldown, 59 minutes 49 seconds. Realizing they couldn't re-enter the game, they had no choice but to exit the virtual interface. Liver Emperor player chat group, online, 10 people. Qi Tu, admin what the hell, why is there a resurrection cooldown setting in the game? Give me another chance and I'm sure I could kill it. Game working party. The realism of Darkland is also a pain in its perfection, although you can set it to 10% pain feedback. The burning pain from the flame still left me terrified, nearly thought I was off to see my great-grandma. Playing the game while spending money. It's fun, and the attribute enhancement feedback feels great, but it really hurts. We, at level 2, are no match for the bone fire. Suggest we level up before challenging it again. Heart Killing. My god, another resurrection cooldown? My level 100 sky-reaching giant python raising plan is now on hold. I'm feeling really awful. Family shared Godfather. Brothers, bad news, the benefit officer has left the group. Qi Tu, admin damn, the Godfather left the group. Probably because he was afraid of spreading pirated versions and causing trouble. Everyone remember to keep it confidential. Don't let the download link get out, to prevent widespread sharing and getting the Godfather in trouble. Unable to enter the game during Resurrection cooldown, the Liver Emperor group players made a decision. They absolutely must not cause any trouble for the Godfather. The download link will not be shared with outsiders. This was followed by discussions about the game's world background, during which Li Zheng proposed an idea. Game working party. Brothers, need to find an organization? Qi Tu, agreed, most players of this game are pay-to-play players. Just joining any organization can earn a significant income. Family shared Godfather. Brothers go ahead, your little brother will firmly follow your steps. Wherever you go, I'll go, with absolute loyalty. The players in the group all expressed agreement with this idea. The so-called organization refers to guilds, clans, and player groups in the game. Liver Emperor group players are part of the working party. In previous games, they would affiliate with mid to large-sized game groups to provide services to pay-to-play players and earn income. This time was no exception. After testing the game, their first thought was to find a game organization. Seeing that the brothers all agreed, Li Zheng typed a reply on the keyboard. Game working party. I'm off to find an organization on the forums. Brothers wait for my return. This was followed by a string of echo-like replies. Godfather, go and come back quickly. Star Network Forum. Human Race Ascension. Section. Darkland Player Recruitment. Gale Guild is recruiting new members. Favorable benefits, with a guaranteed minimum of 200 earnings per day. Members must follow guild activities and obey management instructions. Waterpool Lianshan Guild is recruiting active players. Daily activity is recorded and those insufficient are kicked. Hero Guild is recruiting strong players. Requires battle strength to be within the top 100,000 in the Human Clan Federation region. Members must participate in every event. President regularly offers red packet bonuses, and the guild has many single ladies who are beautiful and have sweet voices. After a quick search, Li Zheng soon found a familiar guild name. He opened the post, copied the admin account, and then opened the chat app to add it. Soon enough, a verification pass pop-up appeared. Black Dawn Little Black. Friend, are you interested in joining our Black Dawn Guild? Game Working Party. Yes, our team currently has 10 people. If I may, what are the guild benefits like? Black Dawn Little Black. Seeing your ID, you're certainly a working party member. Our guild management is comprised of well-known real-life entrepreneurs. We can buy all the resources you produce at high prices. What you need to do is participate in regular group activities. Once we establish our guild in the game, you will need to complete the daily guild tasks every day, providing resources for the guild's development. Of course, all of this is paid. Seeing the response from the Black Dawn admin, Li Zheng felt excited. This organization definitely looks powerful. Future earnings are seemingly guaranteed. So, he quickly replied, Game Working Party. We are willing to join. Currently, we have 10 members, and a few more brothers will join later. Black Dawn Little Black. Good. First provide a screenshot of the game purchase receipt. Game Working Party. Huh? We need to provide proof of purchase? Blood Dawn Little Black. Recently there are too many muddying the waters. We've added several who mingle in our group to pro game content, but in reality, they are backseat drivers who haven't even bought the game, just wasting our time. To minimize such incidents, we need to verify that brothers who want to join the guild have bought the game before allowing them into the guild group. Game Working Party. Seeing Li Zheng not replying for a while, the other side sent a scornful emoticon. Blood Dawn Little Black. Hee hee, I knew it's most likely another backseat driver. You're the 5th one today. Let's mutually delete each other. After being deleted, Li Zheng had to return to the forum to continue searching for a game organization. But another round of searching found that every team leader recruiting new members invariably required a digital purchase receipt. Li Zheng could understand this requirement, but he also felt utterly helpless. They all downloaded the game via legal links. How could they possibly provide a digital receipt for game purchases? After being continuously rejected, Li Zheng didn't give up and continued browsing the forum. Eventually, he found the following post. Star C Guild recruiting active solo players. Recruiter, Star C. Content. In my past life, betrayed by a loved one, brothers turned against each other, the guild management took away my wealth. Today, reborn back to the day of Darkland server opening, I am determined to take back everything that belongs to me, join the guild and listen to my revenge plan. Contact information, 234. After passing the friend verification, Li Zheng asked nervously. Game Working Party. Are you recruiting solo players? Star C. Yes, brother. Do you want to join? Laughs loudly.jpg. Game Working Party. Yes, our team of 10 would like to join the guild. Star C. So many people. Welcome, warmly welcome, drooling.jpg. Game Working Party. May I ask what benefits does the guild offer? Star C. Sorry, we're just a guild for solo players. No money to give benefits. We focus on happy gaming, don't compete for rankings, nor do we actively recruit skilled players or pay-to-play players. However, profits earned by the guild will be shared among all members. Li Zheng felt a bit disappointed by Star C's response. But at this stage, they really need to join an organization to share game intelligence and discuss game content. After pondering for a while, Li Zheng decided to take his brothers to check out the guild first, and leave if it doesn't suit them. Game Working Party. We're willing to join. Star C. Welcome new brothers to join. You can forward the group chat link to your friends to join first, share link. Star C bouncing disco chat group. After choosing to apply for entry, Li Zheng passed the verification the next second. He then forwarded the link to the Liver Emperor group. The responses he got were a series of repeated messages. Godfather, you really didn't disappoint us. Soon, 10 players from the Liver Emperor group passed verification and joined the Star C chat group. With the addition of new members, the group became particularly active, full of welcoming emoticons. At this time, a player posted a message. Star C Strong Bull, what skills did you guys learn at level 2? I think both Dark Grasp and Dark Amplification are good. How did you guys choose? Star C Little Dien Dien, suggest choosing Dark Amplification. There's a limited number of energy bars early on, not advisable to take active skills. A heated discussion about the choice of initial level 2 skills erupted in the group. This left Li Zheng and others utterly confused. Learning skills at level 2? There seems to be no such setting in the game. Heart killing. Sorry to interrupt, but where can one learn initial skills at level 2? Star C Strong Bull? Isn't there an automatic trigger for a skill learning quest at level 2? Confused.jpg. Family shared Godfather. Damn, what skill learning quest? We never received that. Star C Strong Bull. Impossible, it's an inevitable main storyline task, otherwise how could the main storyline progress? Chi 2. Dude, where's the main storyline task in this game? Isn't it highly free roaming with randomly triggered tasks? Leopard Head Zero Charge. Yeah, the newbie guide clearly stated that the game's tasks are randomly triggered. How could there be fixed main storyline tasks? Star C Frenzy Shark. Guys, are you sure you're in the right game group? This is the Dark Land player group. What game are you playing? Puzzle.jpg. Star C Nighthawk. Wrong group, right? How could there be no main storyline tasks? You're supposed to automatically take them at the start. Confused.jpg. A series of replies made Li Sheng and others even more confused. The group then went back to discussing in the Liver Emperor group. Family shared Godfather. Brotherly, you probably joined the wrong group. These players aren't playing the Dark Land, released by Moon Eclipse Clan. It's just a virtual reality game with the same name. Facing the inquiries, Li Sheng was also baffled, and then opened the forum to check the Star C Guild recruitment post again. After confirming it was to recruit for the Dark Land, newly released by Moon Eclipse Clan, he was even more bewildered. Recalling the previous few guild admins mentioning the need for verification of electronic purchase receipts before joining the group, Li Sheng suddenly realized a possibility. Game Working Party. Damn, we might have entered a backseat driver group. They are discussing cyber virtual game content, not real players. Chi 2. Ha ha, backseat drivers are terrifying. They can chat so enthusiastically without even having the game, talking as if they really played. Family shared Godfather. I'm dying laughing, although we play a pirated version, at least it's the real Dark Land. Much better than them simulating game content through chat. No more to say, I'm leaving the Star C group first. Heart killing. Ha ha ha, the players in this group are really interesting. Cyber reality up in the clouds. The content is entirely based on imagination. Whatever they want, they have. Imperial Tomb Village, 300 meters underground. Chi Sheng stood in front of the blue crystal wall containment barrier, his gaze sweeping towards the 3 primordial monster life souls that had been detained. Each of their backs was attached to a flexible tube that extended from the crystal wall, constantly extracting some sort of scarlet energy. He closed his eyes, and scarlet flames instantly clung to his body. His head transformed into blazing scarlet flames, flickering between being tangible and intangible, with 3 small light spheres orbiting around him. Switching to Emperor's Omen form, database guidance feedback information appeared in Chi Sheng's mind. Monster King, Emperor Zhao. Control over Land of Origin. Imperial Tomb Village, territory characteristics. Life reshaping. Territory resistance against horror black tide expenditure. 1,000 points of sacrificial power/day. Servants, Jiuyin Yanming, guidance, super dimension. Remaining sacrificial pool, 130428. Sacrificial power produced by containment wall, 30 points/hour. Primordial entities detained, stone statue ghost, petrification, black armored snake, fierce poison, eagle-headed demon, resentful chant. Although he had inherited the source of Emperor Zhao, and became the new Emperor Zhao, his current strength was not strong. The former Emperor Zhao, more than 10,000 years ago, had decomposed his strength into countless source monsters, scattering them across the monster world. As the new Emperor Zhao, he had only inherited the myself origin, but lost the numerous strengths and traits that had been dispersed. The original intention of recruiting players was to have them explore the monster world, which had been ravaged and destroyed by the Black Tide, and detain the lost primordial power of Emperor Zhao, that is, the source monsters. Every time he detained a source monster, his strength would be partially enhanced, and he would also regain one of the lost strength traits of Emperor Zhao. In addition, source monsters evolved from Emperor Zhao's power, after being detained within the containment wall, could generate 10 points of sacrificial power every hour. The stone statue ghost, black armored snake, and eagle-headed demon, the 3 source monsters that had been detained, could generate 30 points of sacrificial power per hour, totaling 720 points per day. However, Imperial Tomb Village's daily sacrificial power expenditure to resist the horror black tide was 1,000 points, so the current expenditure exceeded income. The remaining sacrificial power would soon be exhausted, and he needed more revenue channels. This was also one of the reasons why he chose to use the extremely popular Darkland to recruit players, hoping to generate more sacrificial power output through the players. Another reason for recruiting players was that he needed more domain nodes. The monster world was tens of thousands of times larger than Earth, composed of countless domain nodes, each origin node retaining rule characteristics controlled by Emperor Zhao. For example, the rule characteristic of the Imperial Tomb Village territory is life reshaping. Players are able to resurrect because of the characteristic power provided by the Imperial Tomb Village. Similar territories exist abundantly in the monster world, and he needed players to occupy domain nodes that had been corroded by the horror Black Tide, integrating them into Imperial Tomb Village to bring in more territory characteristics. Firstly, to detain the source. Secondly, to reclaim domain nodes. These are the two most important reasons for his recruitment of players. If successful, he would become the true Emperor God, gaining the formidable strength to directly confront the horror Black Tide. Big Boss, the first batch of players has generated 32 points of sacrificial power income for you in just half a day, not bad. At that moment, the floating guide suddenly spoke up. It's still too slow. We need to recruit more players. The 32 points of sacrificial power mentioned by Guide referred to the sacrificial power obtained by players, likely Sheng, after slaying a large number of cursed soldiers and refining the produced energy, of which he would extract 30% as revenue sent to the sacrificial power pool beneath Imperial Tomb Village. He had carefully considered this setting. Extracting too much would hinder player growth, while extracting too little would not offset the daily sacrificial power expenditure of Imperial Tomb Village. 30% is just right. Switching to human form, the scarlet flames on his head extinguished, and the 3 orbiting light orbs also dissipated. When are you planning to start the new recruitment? Now! With a raise of his hand, a space transmission array emerged beneath Qi Sheng's feet. After a brief spatial distortion, he returned to his bedroom in the real world. He had already devised a clear plan on how to recruit more players. The game's super popularity of Darkland will be used for initial player acquisition. Players want virtual reality, he'd give them a real world. This time, the target is still those wanting to play Darkland, but are hindered by the game's prohibitive price. This group generally has experience with virtual reality games and some technical background, allowing them to quickly adapt to the game environment and grow. Compared to purely pay-to-play players, this group is more suitable for the early pioneering development of Monster World. He has 130,000 units of sacrificial power left at his disposal, and it takes 1,000 units of sacred energy to craft one monster body, meaning he could recruit up to 130 players. Including the energy needed to maintain the defense barriers of Imperial Tomb Village, he could only offer a limited number of access slots for the time being. Preschool Group Passionate Chat, Online, 38 people. Preschool Director, Group Owner, News Link, Breaking News, the Moon Eclipse clan behind Darkland has released another million game purchase slots to our Human Clan Federation. Little Class Black Ball, I don't want to hear this news. Clearly, I'm not among those million slots, and the price is even more discouraging. Psy.jpg. Little Class Tai Chui, I saw this news. It said that the higher-ups of the Human Clan Federation wanted more slots to experiment with the virtual environment, but were rejected by the Moon Eclipse clan. Little Class No Nap, it's because we can't develop a virtual reality game with high fidelity like Darkland. Little Class Zui Nai, I have a suggestion. Since we all want to play but can't experience the game due to lack of funds, I propose a joint fund to buy me a copy of Darkland for me exclusively. I'll carry your passion and longing, and happily enjoy playing Darkland. Little Class Cute Baby replied to Little Class Zui Nai, I agree with the fundraising, but why should you be the one to enjoy it instead of me? Angry Desk Slap.jpg. While the group members were lamenting the high price of Darkland, a small line of text popped up at the bottom of the chat group. Benefit Officer passed verification and joined the chat group. Preschool Director, Group Owner, who's this? I looked at the verification info, and it doesn't show who approved the application? Little Class No Nap, blind guess, the newcomer's a nude pic dude, must have a large stock of colorful videos and pictures, hence the name Benefit Officer. I, representing the group members, warmly welcome you. Little Class Black Ball at Benefit Officer, Newcomer, why so silent? Start your benefit show, I'm ready. Amidst the continuous S from the group members, Sheng sent his first message after joining the group. Benefit officer, I have something everyone wants on hand. I'll share it with you all in a moment. Little class Zui Nai, we all know you have it, but we hope it's free. This group doesn't welcome sellers, only free benefit givers. Benefit officer, do you want to play Dark Land? Preschool director, group owner buddy, are you going to tell us next that you can purchase the authorization at a discount for us? Laughspray.jpg. Benefit officer, let's call it fate. I'm giving everyone a super benefit. I posted the link to download the cracked version of Dark Land. You can download it anytime if you want to play. Link. Seeing the download link for Dark Land, the usually lively chat group suddenly fell silent, followed by the group owner breaking the silence. Preschool director, group owner at benefit officer, get lost. Sending you a plane ticket. This scamming trick is 500 years out of date. Who falls for it is a moron. Notice, group member, benefit officer, has been kicked from the chat. Little class cute baby. That guy was too hasty, didn't hold a candle to the scammer that joined our group a year ago. That guy mingled with us for 3 months, occasionally sending out red packets as benefits, and one day suddenly said he had discount recharge channels for bloodthirsty madman. I believed it at the time, and got scammed of 800. Preschool director, haha, I remember Zue and I got scammed the worst, transferred 3,000 for a discounted recharge. Little class Zue Nai, the world is perilous, it hurts to remember, after that incident my innocence was lost. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. I'm going to collect the content from the link and report it to the Federal Net Police. With the internet being real name verified, I hope they can catch and judge the scammer. Human Clan Federation, Yilan City. Fishing and Hunting District, 5 a.m. The sky begins to lighten with the dawn, accompanied by the sound of horns, as a large number of fishing boats return. Lights interweave outside the window, presenting a lively scene in the fishing harbor. Rubbing his sore and swollen eyes, Jiang Zhou shifts his gaze from the window back to the computer desktop. A pop-up in the top right corner shows that the zip file has finished downloading. He has a deep hatred for internet scammers because he has been a victim of online fraud himself. Originally, after the preschool director kicked the benefit officer out of the group and was about to delete the scam link, he stopped the director. He believed that reporting it was the correct way to handle it. Perhaps his action could save many innocent youths who would have been deceived. But before reporting, he needed to gather information related to the scam link. The Federal Net Police deal with a large number of reports and complaints every day, and submitting organized evidence could alleviate their workload, allowing scam cases to be processed faster. He clicks on the shield icon on the computer desktop, and the computer enters a network protection mode. Then he uses the security shield to perform a virus scan on the downloaded zip file. To his surprise, there were no viruses in the zip file. Could it be a prank? As for the zip containing a cracked version of Dark Land, he could never believe it. The scammer's intentions were too obvious. Not only did they reveal their thoughts after just a few exchanges, but the web address behind the link was also very rudimentary. It didn't even bother to download a web page template, completely amateurish. And the powerful network technology of the Moon Eclipse clan couldn't possibly be breached by any technique. With doubts, he opens the zip file and begins to extract the content. In less than a minute, the extraction is complete. Since the content requires a virtual gaming pod to open, Jiang Zhou transfers the files to the connected gaming pod and presses the compatibility key. Soon, the game compatibility is complete. Jiang Zhou stands up and enters the gaming pod. After the neural connection hoses automatically dock with various parts of his body, Jiang Zhou's vision gradually becomes shrouded in darkness, and when it clears, he is before a virtual desktop. The desktop has 16 game icons, each one carrying a segment of growing memories, though he had abandoned most of them. At the very bottom of the desktop is the game downloaded through the link, with an icon of a monster enveloped in flaming crimson fire. Although the game was virus-free, Jiang Zhou still activates the protection function as a precaution. This feature traces back to when the Moon Eclipsing clan first arrived on Earth, bringing about an era of technological explosion with advanced virtual technologies. With the emergence of new technologies, a surge of virtual games appeared, including horror games. There was once a horror prank game created using them. Virtual Engine Library Materials, disclosed by the Moon Eclipsing clan, resulting in a player downloading it and dying suddenly of a heart attack. Since that incident, all virtual gaming pods must install a safety detection device, capable of judging the player's condition through changes in body hormones and heart rate. In the event of an emergency, the built-in safety alert system immediately sends help to the nearest medical station. Clicking on the game icon, an image of a burning crimson array emerges in Jiang mind. This is followed by a strong sense of dizziness, as if an invisible vortex is devouring and pulling at his consciousness. Once the feeling of weightlessness disperses, the scene before Jiang eyes leaves him stunned. The sky full of black cracks, continuously erupting fiery mountains, monsters roaming the earth. The smell of scorched earth and sulfur in the air enters his lungs through his breathing, bringing a slight burning sensation. The swiftly advancing high-altitude overview is incredibly realistic, immersing him instantly. The terrifying apocalyptic scene also causes his heart rate to suddenly accelerate. At this moment, his vision suddenly plunges downward, towards a dilapidated village on the ground. Under the intense feeling of weightlessness, Jiang can't help but cry out in surprise. Just as his vision is about to hit the ground, darkness engulfs him. Then, what appears before him is a huge grid-like blue crystal wall, extending endlessly to both sides and piercing the sky above. Most of the wall's space is empty, but in the bottom starting grid, 3 grotesque monsters are imprisoned. A prompt then resonates in Jiang's mind. Welcome, challenger, to Monster World. Please begin creating your initial character. At this moment, Jiang completely loses his composure. It felt like he was about to reluctantly taste something disgusting, but unexpectedly discovered that it was a delicacy he had longed for in his dreams. The immense disparity makes Jiang's emotion surge dramatically, leading him to exclaim, "Holy shit, what the hell?" 15 minutes later. Preschool group passionate chat group, online, 32 people. Little class black ball. Actually, I think the arrival of the Moon Eclipse clan is a good thing for us humans. Their base is set up on the moon and doesn't affect our living environment, which is much better compared to the chaos caused by refugee forces, like the Red Flame clan. Little class Tai Chui. Yeah, the arrival of the Moon Eclipse clan brought us a lot of innovative technologies that improve our quality of life. They've never oppressed us humans either, making them a very friendly alien race force. It's just that their pricing really sucks. After being away for a long time, Jiang returns. Little class Zui Nai. Guys, something bad happened. Little class cute baby replied to little class Zui Nai. Did you get scammed again, because you didn't turn on the security protection? Little class Tai Chui replied to little class cute baby. Is there a possibility that Zui Nai downloaded the official game, funny.jpg? Faced with the teasing from the group members, Jiang immediately types a line of text and presses enter. Little class Zui Nai. I really downloaded the official Darkland. The game is indeed 100% virtual reality as advertised. The experience is super realistic. You guys hurry up and download it, so we can start the game together once you're all set up. Seeing Zui Nai's reply, group members responded with funny emojis. Little class Pebbles. Do you believe what Zui Nai said? Or believe that I am the reincarnation of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, funny.jpg? Tai Chui replied to Pebbles. Of course, I believe you are the reincarnation of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. I'll pay you 50 later, and whatever you want to appoint me as depends on your mood, funny.jpg. Faced with the group members' distrust, Jiang types another line of text. Little class Zui Nai. I swear with my baby brother, I'm not tricking you this time. Go download it. We can finally have fun together again. Seeing Jiang's repeated assurances that the game, Darkland, really could be downloaded, the group members' attitudes changed slightly. Little class cute baby. Holy shit, could it really be true? Little class Tai Chui. Knowing Zui Nai, he probably isn't joking about this. Although it was hard to believe, they chose to trust their old friend and started clicking the link to download the game. Half an hour later, various messages to group members and many, holy shit, flooded the chat. Because the link provided by the benefit officer indeed allowed downloading the official Darkland. At this time, Tong Xian, the group's owner and still asleep preschool director, was awakened by the continuous notification sounds. Reaching under his pillow to grab his phone, the groggy Tong Xian started flipping through the chat content. Director, wake up! Something big happened! Director, at this hour, how can you still be sleeping? Feeling more and more awake, Tong Xian suddenly got up and hurried to the computer, waking up the screen, and clicking the pinned web link. The page redirected to the download page. He clicked download without hesitation. At that moment, a pop-up appeared. Game downloads have reached the limit set. The distributor has not enabled new download permissions, unable to continue downloading. This pop-up completely shattered Tong Xion's composure. He immediately inputted a line of text in the chat. Preschool director, guys, why is this link limiting download times? It's not letting me download anymore. Little class Zui Nai, not sure, but a moment of silence for you. Little class Black Ball, ha ha, that's what you get for continuing to sleep. You missed the free benefits of 128,888. I can imagine you gnashing your teeth in front of the computer. Little class Tai Chui, sleeping is an error, we should be staying up at our age. Look, we all got the staying up late benefits, except you. Little class Cute Baby, director, only the benefit officer can save you now, go bow and apologize. Preschool director, you guys are really killing me. I'm going to find the benefit officer and beg for forgiveness. Feeling on the verge of a breakdown, Tong Xion decisively opens the system message list, finds the benefit officer who has been kicked out of the group, and selects to add him. A prompt box pops up. Would you like to add benefit officer as a friend? Below the prompt is a comment box. After some thought, he entered hundreds of words of apologies in the comment box to express his remorse towards the benefit officer, sincerely hoping the benefit officer would forgive and forget, being magnanimous. Tong Xion felt that he never wrote essays with as much sincerity during his schooling days. After modifying the wording multiple times, he sent the request filled with hope. The next second, a prompt popped up. Benefit officer has enabled the function to block strangers from adding. Friend request failed. Seeing the text in the prompt box, Tong Xion completely lost his composure and punched the desk. Fuck! Monster World, Emperor 2 Mountain Range. Ancient battlefield. A skeleton burning with ink-colored flames wanders aimlessly, surrounded by piles of debris and shattered weapons. To become a powerful hunter, first learn to hide yourself and seek opportunities for sneak attacks. Then lock onto your target, gather strength, swift as the wind, kill with a single blow. Ah! Accompanied by Li Jiang's shout in the regional voice channel, players lying on the ground playing dead suddenly leap up, twist their bodies in midair to switch to monster form, and pounce on the first-generation primordial monster, Bone Fire. By this time, Li Jiang and the others had all leveled up to 5. Their body strength more than doubled from the start, and their figures had significantly grown. This was their third encounter with Bone Fire. The first 2 contacts were an undeniable defeat, sparking Li Jiang and the others' competitive desire. Most importantly, they discovered a special game mechanic that could help them kill monsters above their level. This game had no monster rollback setting. The so-called monster rollback setting refers to a common game mechanic where, if the player disengages from a monster fight and leaves a certain range, the monster would automatically return to its territory and recover all health, removing any negative effects the player had applied. But this game had no such setting. All damage inflicted by players on monsters would be preserved. For example, the bite marks they left on Bone Fire in their previous fight did not disappear upon their deaths. When they engaged Bone Fire again, they found the same bite marks. This gave them the possibility to defeat higher-level monsters by whittling down their health. Even if each time only 1% damage was dealt, 100 fights would be enough to kill the monster. Of course, this was all predicated on the monster's self-healing ability being slow. The tactic of whittling down health would be pointless against monsters with a strong self-healing ability, but against Bone Fire, which lacked such ability, the tactic was perfectly viable. Compared to their first encounter, this time Bone Fire's body was covered in bite marks, particularly its left leg, which was nearly broken. All these injuries were caused by their attrition warfare. This time, Li Jiang and the other players continued to focus their attack on Bone Fire's left leg. Upon contact with Bone Fire, their monstrous bodies were ignited by the ink-colored flames. Enduring the scorching pain, they wrapped around Bone Fire, tearing at its nearly disintegrating left leg. Before long, the leg bone, already full of cracks, finally gave in under the strain and shattered, causing the body to tilt and fall to the ground. Chi Tu and other watching players decisively rushed forward, joining the battle. The black armored snake's binding and tearing, the stone statue ghost's frontal heavy punch, the eagle-headed demon's beak strike. Bone Fire, overwhelmed by the relentless assault, finally could not hold on. The ink-colored crystal stone in its skull exploded, and the ink-colored flames engulfing its body extinguished. Black mist emanated from the dead bone fire's body, dispersing into 10 parts in the air, each drifting towards Li Sheng and the others. Their bodies made contact with the black mist, absorbing the energy within, and a scarlet glow swept across their skin. The surging energy within made their bodies rapidly grow. The ink-colored flames still burning on their bodies dissipated as well. The body remodeling that came with the level up restored them to peak condition. At this moment, thick smoke once again appeared on the body of the dead bone fire. It was possible to see a miniaturized outline of bone fire's form, flickering in and out of visibility within the billowing black smoke. The nearest guiding water ball suddenly opened its mouth, and instantly the life soul of bone fire was sucked in, transported in a flash to the fourth compartment of the containment wall, reassembling into bone fire within. At that moment, a pale blue energy hose extended from the top of the compartment and connected to the confined bone fire's skull, beginning to continuously extract sacrificial power benefits. At the same time, Li Sheng and the others received continuous notifications in their minds. Challenger tips. Contain first-generation primordial monster bone fire, completing the primordial hunting mission. Mission Reward 1. All participants receive 1,000 points of sacrificial power, reward amount affected by the number of participants. Mission Reward 2. All participants receive free access to open a second life soul slot. Awesome! We finally took it down! Ha ha ha, guys, this feeling is fantastic, the joy I've long missed. 1,000 points of sacrificial power gain, much faster than killing cursed soldiers. After the excitement, Li Sheng turned to the guiding water ball floating beside him, and asked curiously, Guidance, how much sacrificial power is needed to normally unlock the second life soul slot? Unlocking the second life soul slot requires the consumption of 500 points of sacrificial power. Does that mean we can embed the second life soul now? Correct, the function panel has the star vein inlay feature, and you can now embed the second monster life soul to unlock the second monster form. Following the guidance given, Li Sheng summoned the function panel. There were 7 options displayed: map, spatial baggage, character details, star vein enhancement, item mall, resource sacrifice, system settings. He clicked on the star vein function, and the inner view of his body appeared in his mind. The spinal column was as luminous as the Milky Way, with his human form at the topmost part, and the first socket below embedded with the black armored snake life soul. To the right was the control panel, which displayed detailed information about the star vein. Challenger, gain working party. Certification name, Li Sheng. Star vein level, 2, next level sacrificial power consumption, 2,000. Star vein inlay slots, 2. Embedded monster life soul 1, black armored snake LV5, trait, vicious poison. Embedded monster life soul 2, none. On the right side of the star vein attribute panel was a purchase life soul option. Upon consciousness tap, the screen switched to the monster life soul mall. Before Li Sheng's eyes, 4 embeddable options were presented. 1. Petrification, stone statue ghost form, first generation origin. Monster traits. After using the ability, the body enters an immobile petrified state, significantly reducing damage from any form of attack. Effects are affected by the physical fitness. Purchase consumption, 1,000 sacrificial power. 2. Resentful chant, eagle-headed demon form, first generation origin. Monster traits. After using the ability, can preemptively warn of nearby dangers, malice, hostility, aura, fluctuations. Purchase consumption, 1,000 sacrificial power. 3. Fierce poison, black armored snake form, first generation origin. Monster traits. Any form of physical damage is accompanied by a poisoning effect, inflicting continuous damage on the target. The potency of the poison is affected by physical fitness. Purchase consumption, already owned, cannot be purchased again. 4. Ink flame, bone fire form, first generation origin. Monster traits. Consume spiritual power to release death intense flame, which can be controlled by conscious will, causing continuous burning and deathly infiltration damage to the target when hit. Specific damage is affected by the monster level and spiritual strength. Purchase consumption, 1,000 sacrificial power. Guidance. What does the suffix first generation origin mean attached to the monster life soul? Li Sheng asked the guiding water ball curiously. Emperor Zhao created primordial monsters and conducted 10 mysterious experiments in total, each time divesting a part of his own power. The primordial life balls from the first batch were scattered around Monster World and eventually evolved into first-generation origin, while second generation refers to the second batch of created primordial life. The same logic applies onwards. The process of Emperor Zhao's self-divestment was from weak to strong. The power traits of the first-generation origin are the weakest, and those of the 10th generation origin are the strongest. Therefore, the potential for growth of a 10th generation origin monster is far higher than that of a first-generation origin monster. But potential for growth does not necessarily indicate strength. There could be second-generation origin monsters with low hunting levels, while some first-generation origin monsters might have extremely high hunting levels. I see. Understanding the meaning behind the monster suffixes, Li Sheng fell into thought. There were 3 choices before him at this stage: Eagle-Headed Demon, Stone Statue Ghost, and Bone Fire. Among them, the elemental damage of Bone Fire was not compatible with the vicious poison trait of the Black Armored Snake, so that option was eliminated first. Of the remaining 2, Eagle-Headed Demon leaned towards Function Assistance, a general use type of monster trait, while Stone Statue Ghost tended towards defense. After a brief moment of contemplation, he decided to exit the Star Vein function interface first and discuss with his companions about the choice to make. As the interview faded away, Li Sheng turned to look at his brothers beside him, but was surprised to find that Qi too had already embedded the second life soul and switched to the Bone Fire form with ink-colored flames burning all over. Ancient battlefield. Bones piled into mountains on the ground. At this moment, a blob of dark flames traced an arc across the sky, accurately striking a Kerr soldier after flipping over a pile of bones, instantly engulfing the Kerr soldier in raging flames. Soon, 10 silhouettes flipped over the bone pile and arrived in front of the still burning, but already extinct Kerr soldier. Ha ha! The fusion of martial skills is too perfect. From now on, I won't need visibility to kill targets. The speaker was a young man around 20 years old. Wrapped in dark flames in his humanoid form, he wore an expression of pride. Seeing this, Li Sheng and the others could hardly hide their envy. Damn! The weakest in combat power, the eagle-headed demon, has become the version's answer because of its bone fire form. Through guiding water ball's demonstration and explanation, Li Sheng and the others already knew that in human form, they could combine various monster traits' powers, but they were still shocked by Qi Tu's performance. The monster trait of the eagle-headed demon is Resentful Chant. After activating this ability, a perception view spreads outward from oneself as the center, with the initial range being 50 meters in radius, expanding to 100 meters after reaching level 5. The ability trait of Bone Fire is to control Death Intense Flame. Combining the two, one can lock onto targets within a 100-meter radius without direct line of sight, and carry out long-range precision strikes. This was the first time Li Sheng and others witnessed the power of integrated usage of monster traits. It's good, but my body refining level is 0. In human form, I can only use traits from 2 monster forms, but I can't inherit the monster attributes, which causes me to feel a bit dizzy after using 2 abilities simultaneously. Qi Tu couldn't help but complain, then continued. I just asked guidance. To upgrade from body refining 0 to 1 requires 10,000 points of sacrificial power. In the early stage of pioneering, we should still focus on the monster forms. The spiritual power intensity in human form is not strong enough for frequent use of monster skills. After analyzing the power traits of different monster forms, only Qi Tu and Fun Without Paying, the 2 players who chose the initial form of the eagle-headed demon, mounted the Bone Fire Life Soul onto their star veins as their second monster form. Li Sheng and the others decided not to mount new monster forms for the time being. According to the guidance explanation, the cost of upgrading star vein level will gradually increase with the level. Hence, the second life soul can be mounted when the appropriate monster trait appears. In the early stages, they would still fight in the form of the Black Armored Snake. The reward for killing Bone Fire also made Li Sheng and others look forward to containing new primordial monsters. It could be envisioned that in the later stages of the game, each player could combine various monster traits to create different school combinations of star veins, which seems really interesting. As Li Sheng and his companions explored the ways to fuse monster abilities, another group of players also entered the game at this time, pushing westward towards Imperial Tomb Village. A huge team of 30 players mowed down the Kerr soldiers, blocking their way like slicing through melons and vegetables. Suddenly, Another cursed soldier rose from the wreckage ahead. Immediately, the 30 players pounced like hungry tigers, leaping at the newly risen cursed soldier. Zui Nai, brothers, give me a chance. I haven't got a single one after fighting cursed soldiers all the way. Don't be too mean. Black ball. This one's mine. Whoever snatches it is my son. Tai Chui, cute baby, you're already level 2 and still snatching. Where's your public spirit? Forget about paying back the 200 you owe me. The scene instantly became chaotic. Seeing a cursed soldier, the players were like starving wolves, and soon disassembled the cursed soldier into a pile of bones. Black Ball, who snatched the cursed soldier, was overjoyed, while the other players looked dejected. However, the feeling of striving together to level up and pioneer was a pleasant one they hadn't felt in a long time. This game is too awesome. I thought it was just exaggerated promotion. How could there be a game with 100% realism? Now I'm convinced. Indeed, the attribute enhancement feedback from leveling up is so satisfying. Here I can experience a superhuman feeling, jumping several meters high. At this moment, the cute baby leading the team suddenly spoke. Brothers, an area alert just informed us that a team of players killed a primordial monster and got rich rewards. Let's go find some primordial monsters. Saying this, the cute baby turned his head to look at the guiding water ball at his side. Guidance? Where can we find primordial monsters to kill nearby? Primordial monsters are scattered throughout Monster World, and although their numbers are extremely large, they are free entities without a specific territory restricting their movements. They can be encountered anywhere, maybe just a few steps away you could find one. Realizing that primordial monsters are special creatures that refresh at random locations, the cute baby felt somewhat regretful. The team continued to push westward. Whenever a cursed soldier appeared along the way, everyone killed it by their own ability, accompanied by various cursing and shouting, creating a lively atmosphere. An hour later, the team crossed the bone-strewn ancient battlefield, and in front lay the vast plains filled with blood-colored plants. In the distance on the plain stood a great stone, like the open maw of a monster, howling up at the sky. Upon opening the map, the area previously shrouded in fog became clear, and a new line of text labeling appeared, blood-colored plain. At that moment, a prompt popped up in the minds of all players. Challenger tips, origin domain node discovered. Occupying the source domain node can yield enormous rewards, shared among all participants. Following the prompt, the blood-colored plain area on the map was marked with a scarlet-colored light spot, pointing to the giant stone on the plain. The sudden trigger of this mission excited the group of players, signifying that substantial rewards were on the way. Without any hesitation, even though they knew there might be dangers ahead, the 30 players still swiftly advanced towards the direction of the stone statue. Upon reaching the stone statue, they discovered that its gaping mouth was actually the entrance to an underground cave, covered with red vines hanging at the cave entrance like a curtain. Cute baby, brothers, do we go in or not? Zui Nai, nonsense, after coming all this way, of course we're going in. Tai Chui, activating stone statue ghost form. Let's charge, brothers. After a brief exchange, all players agreed to enter the cave for exploration. Entering the cave, the visibility grew dark. Tai Chui, who was leading the way, summoned the shopping panel and spent one sacrificial power to purchase a torch, illuminating the path at the front. The cave passage was narrow, only wide enough for 2 people to walk side by side, and the team lined up in a long queue descending deeper. Not long after, Tai Chui, who was at the forefront, suddenly stopped and crouched to look at a glowing plant by his feet. It was a plant about half a meter tall with long, slender, and supple leaves, carved like jade and sprinkling speckles of starlight in the darkness. Zui Nai, why did we stop? Is there something up ahead? Pebbles, did we encounter a monster? What's the hunting level? Gulu, Tai Chui, say something, what's going on? In response to everyone's inquiries, Tai Chui at the forefront shared the plant's feedback information on the team channel. Empty Valley Grass. Spirit level, level 2. Spirit Plant Introduction. A low-level spiritual plant unique to the Emperor 2 mountain range. Consuming it can enhance the sharpness of the 5 senses, providing a permanent slight attribute enhancement, and it can also be used for sacrifices to obtain sacrificial power rewards. Note: sacrificial power can be used for star vein strengthening or marketplace shopping, and is circulatable among challengers. Preschool class leader, damn, we found good stuff just upon entering the cave. I'm calling dibs as a college student. Scram! Facing Pebble's shameless request, everyone else vehemently scolded him. It was at this moment that Tai Chui turned to look at the floating new player guidance. Guidance? What does sacrifice mentioned in the analysis mean? Open the feature panel, and you can see the sacrifice. The challengers can exchange anything with spiritual material for sacrificial power rewards from Emperor Zhao through sacrifice. Following the guidance's instructions, Tai Chui summoned the feature panel and clicked on the sacrifice function. Suddenly, a semi-transparent altar interface appeared in front of him. The altar's base was built from massive black stones, its surface weathered as though eroded by long years of wind and rain, slightly mottled. The altar's body was surrounded by intricately carved various monster totems, lifelike, and in the center burned a flame of scarlet intense fire. On the right side of the interface was the space bag, with 50 small compartments for items. After putting the empty valley grass into a space bag compartment, you can use your consciousness to drag the plant onto the altar for sacrifice. Hearing this, Tai Chui crouched down and pulled the empty valley grass out of the ground by the roots. After summoning the space bag feature, a black vortex materialized before him, into which he promptly tossed the empty valley grass. An instantly shrunken model of the empty valley grass appeared in the first compartment of the space bag. Once again summoning the sacrifice interface, he used his consciousness to drag the empty valley grass and dropped it onto the scarlet fire at the center of the altar. Upon contact with the flame, the empty valley grass was incinerated completely, turning into a clump of scarlet energy that flew out of the virtual interface and merged with his body. Challenger tips: by sacrificing a level 2 spirit plant, empty valley grass, you have received a sacrificial power reward from Emperor Zhao, 109 points. This prompt was also displayed in the team's voice channel. Tai Chui: brothers, I tested the sacrifice function for all of us, and it proves to be quite useful. Any unwanted items can be transformed into sacrificial power when tossed inside. Scram! Facing Tai Chui's shameless rhetoric, players following behind all flipped him the bird and strongly demanded that the rewards from the sacrifice should be split evenly, even if each person could only get 3 sacrificial points.